Boop. Ready.
Okay. In California, man smokes weed with strangers and gets his clothes stolen. A 35-year-old California man was robbed of his clothing and valuables after agreeing to smoke marijuana with two men in San Francisco's Nob Hill neighborhood early Thursday morning. A cop spokeswoman said Friday. Officers responded to a report of a robbery around 3:45 a.m. Based on police investigation. The victim was walking on Broadway Street where two men approached him and invited him to smoke weed with them, according to San Francisco police spokeswoman Officer Grace Gatspandan. Gatspandan.
Gatspan.
I want to say Gatsby Dan.
The Great
But I know it's
Gatsby.
not
Black
Gatsby
Betty
Dan.
and Banam.
Police said victim took the men up on the offer and walked with them to an apartment, possibly a hotel room, located a couple blocks away in the 2000 block of Polka Street. Gaspidan said the suspects and the victim smoked weed together at some point, and suspects asked the victim if they could see his phone. The victim declined to let the men see his phone. Later, the victim got hot and decided to take his jacket and pants off, Gaspidan said. Oh, now it's just declining. When victim got up to go to the bathroom, a suspect stole his clothing, punched him in the face, and took his valuables, including his cell phone and wallet, Gaspidan said. The victim suffered minor bruising to his cheek and refused medical treatment. Officers are investigating the robbery, but not yet made any arrests. Suspects are described as two black men between 25 and 35 years old. One suspect was described wearing a hoodie and dark jeans, while the other was described as only wearing dark-colored clothing, which explains about half of San Francisco's population.
So there's so many lessons for the children here, aren't there?
Yeah, don't go off with strangers.
Don't smoke weed with strangers, kids.
Don't go to San
just
Francisco,
don't go off with
kids.
strangers. Because they'll punch you in the face.
Don't smoke weed with strangers. They'll punch you in the face and steal your clothes.
Don't go to San Francisco.
Why? San Francisco's a nice place.
It is nice.
Granted, it's a city. I'm not the biggest fan of cities, but
That's why I drive.
Cities. That's why she drives.
you know, in my defense, the reason I don't like driving in the city,
That's because you're a hillbilly.
I am a hillbilly. I am a tremendous hillbilly.
He billies those hills every day from the crack of dawn.
I am so hillbilly that I get out and drag my hogs through the snow each day.
Up and down.
50 miles.
Each way.
Each way. Drag my hogs.
How many hogs?
How many hogs? Well, it's a lot of hogs. Or if I was like that one guy out in Australia, one really big hog.
Oh,
But that's a separate story. I got to tell that story later.
I thought the counting system was 1, 2, and then many.
1, 2, and then many. No, it's a whole lot of hogs. A whole lot of hogs. Yeah, but anyway, suffice to say, I like San Francisco, okay? I just don't like driving in it because I don't like city driving. I really don't. And the feeling of a city is I always feel like I have to be on guard. On guard!
So, on to the nightlife of San Francisco. So, the man was found being now lacking possessions and clothes. What happened to him?
He got punched in the face, and then all of his stuff was stolen.
But, I mean, who did he approach for help after?
No one.
He just found someone who called 911 for him?
Yeah, pretty
Oh.
much.
Okay. See, there are decent people in cities.
I know, I'm surprised.
Or it was... Actually, no, he reported the robbery, but he's refused all medical help.
Huh?
Okay.
Okay, now the story just got even more interesting.
Got weird again.
No, the officer said that they responded to a report of a robbery around 3:45. And based on police investigation, the victim was walking around Broadway Street where the two men
Approached him and then the rest of the thing. Yeah. But, like, I gotta wonder, did he just go up to a cop naked and say, some guy stole my clothes, but don't take me to no doctors? And I'm like...
Well, when they offered him medical treatment, he's like, no, I don't need it.
Officers, I really appreciate it, but please no searching.
Also, he's Broadway Street near Nob Hill. That area, you kind of expect getting punched.
You know it better than I would.
Yeah.
All I know is that one's called Nob Hill.
Zen is an expert on being punched, so she would definitely know the best places to be punched.
Mm-hmm.
I know the best places to get shanked, not punched.
Shanked?
I didn't know you were into
Shanked.
Shanked.
Stabbed.
You're deaf.
What happened to Charlie? He got shanked.
Shanked. That's not even a word. You know what? Sometimes I think your brain invents new words and wants to try them so badly that it mishears things deliberately.
No, you have to understand. Okay. My brain has a problem in which...
We know that.
Okay, it has a lot of problems, and one of the best ones for everyone around me is the fact that it's usually paying some attention to its own stupid thoughts, and so it's not always investing as much as it should in the real world. And when someone says something, it's just, it's absent-mindedly, okay, so the guy said this, and this, and wait a minute, what? And for an example, there's a book called "Excuse Me While I Kiss This Guy."
Oh,
it's based off of
that so much.
I love that book. I used to show it to Rusty all the time, and he hated it. Anyway, one of my favorite ones, though, that I actually had was I did not understand the song Major Tom for a while. Because I thought he kept saying clown control to Major Tom. And I was so confused. It's so different.
Not only is your brain filling in its own things, now you can't really hear out of one ear now, thanks to mushrooms.
That sounds a hell of a lot like he did just a major mushroom trip and dug a screwdriver in his own ear to get the pixies out.
Oh man, I gotta let them free. They're in there deep.
If I wanted to be super graphic, I would say an ice pick.
But it's not as
weed whacker
as that. Well, actually, could be.
What?
It mushrooms in his ears. Could be.
Could be psychedelic.
Psychedelic mushrooms.
You guys are actually all hallucinations. I'm missing my clothes because I just got mugged in San Francisco.
He takes these recordings of us so he knows he's not insane.
Did you
actually just yelling at random people?
You know what they sound like? You know what they actually sound like to other people? They sound like just Carl talking and then long periods of static.
The most part is there's no electronics, so they're like, where the fuck is that coming from?
Yeah, that's all I got for the news.
Fine.
All right. Well, if that's it for the news, because I'm out.
Yes.
I am burnt out and out of stories, out of time.
I've got like 5 more, if you guys want or no.
Well, it's like I'm up for it.
It's about midnight.
Yeah, it's just about midnight, man.
All right, dirty pig bribe. Okay, hold on. Let me stop recording. And